Hello everyone. Today we'll be looking on number operations. So in this topic we're going to cover number types. So before we get into business, you can like the page and subscribe and share to others so that it can help them. So in this topic we'll be listing all types of numbers required for a O-level, ZJC student and O-level students to be knowing them. So the first type is the odd numbers. So odd numbers, these are numbers that cannot be divisible by 2 wholly. So odd numbers, you cannot share them into 2 equal parts without leaving any remainder. So if you divide an odd number by 2, it leaves a remainder. So the examples of odd numbers are 1. So if you divide 1 by 2, you cannot divide 1 by 2 wholly, so it leaves a remainder. 3 is also an odd number. Thus if you divide 3 divided by 2, it's 1, remainder 1. So that's making 1, 5. So odd numbers include 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 up to infinity. So these numbers are numbers that if you divide by 2, they leave a remainder. Next, even numbers. Even numbers, these are numbers that if you divide by 2, they don't leave a remainder. So even numbers, all even numbers are divisible by 2. So even numbers include numbers like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 up to infinity. So there are many. So all even numbers are divisible by 2. Prime numbers. Next are prime numbers. Prime numbers, these are numbers that are greater than 1 but only divisible by 1 and themselves. Only divisible by 1 and themselves. So kindly note that 1 is not a even number. 1 is not included in prime numbers. 1 is not included in prime numbers. So prime numbers begin from 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, going forward, etc. So prime numbers are numbers that are only divisible by 1 and themselves. Kindly note that, students. Kindly note that. So a prime number is only divisible by 1 and themselves. So 1 is not a prime number. 1 is not a prime number. Next, rational numbers. Rational numbers. So rational numbers, these are numbers that can be expressed as a fraction where the numerator and the denominator are integers. So rational numbers are numbers that you can only express as a fraction. So a number, if a number cannot be expressed as a fraction, it's not a rational number. So you cannot ration that number. So rational numbers can include negative and positive numbers. So the numerator and the denominator must be an integer. So the numerator and the denominator must be an integer. So 4 over 5 is an example of a rational number because 4 over 5 is a fraction. So even 1 and 3/4 is a rational number because it is a fraction. You can even express as an improper fraction where it becomes 7 over 4 by saying 1 times 4 plus 3, making it 7 over 4. Minus 5 is also a rational number where its denominator is 1. So all whole numbers and fraction numbers that are fractions are rational numbers. So in rational numbers we exclude numbers that are not that cannot be expressed as fractions. Next, we have irrational numbers. Irrational numbers. So from the word rational, irrational is the opposite. So we cannot irrational numbers are numbers that cannot be expressed as a fraction. These includes all positive and negative, non-repeating. These includes all positive and negative, non-repeating and non-terminating numbers. So when we say non-repeating, after the comma, let's say the number that can be expressed, the decimal number like 2.236065606679775. These are non-repeating numbers. We obtained them from square root of 5. So square root of 5 is equal to that number. So you can, as we can see, the numbers after the comma are non-repeating. So if numbers are after the comma are non-repeating, it means that the number is not a rational number. It's an irrational number. It is impossible to convert that in a fraction. The only way you can to convert that in a fraction is to round off to 2 decimal places. But exactly, this is an irrational number. Also, minus negative root 11 is equals to negative 3.3166247904. So as you can see that numbers after the comma are non-repeating, so it is impossible to express that number in as what, as a fraction. Also, we have square root of 2 is equals to 1.4142135624. So these are non-repeating numbers. So those are all examples of irrational numbers. Then we have real numbers. Real numbers. Real numbers, these are all numbers plus these are all rational numbers plus irrational numbers. These are all rational numbers plus irrational numbers. So examples of real numbers include 1.4, 1, 4 over 5, 3, comma, minus 3, minus 4, dash dash dash. There are so many. So all real numbers include rational and irrational numbers. Then lastly, we have reciprocals. Reciprocals. A reciprocal is a number. A reciprocal is a number. Is a number that is a multiplicative inverse of a number. A reciprocal is a reciprocal of a number is the number. A reciprocal of a number is the multiplicative inverse of the number. So when you vice versa the denominator and the numerator of a number, it becomes the reciprocal of that number. All right. So what happens, what we say when we say it's a multiplicative number of it's a multiplicative inverse of a number. We say if you multiply a number with its reciprocal, the answer becomes 1. For example, I've given the example, the reciprocal of 5 has a denominator that is 1. And so if you vice versa the denominator and the numerator, it becomes the reciprocal of that number. So the reciprocal of 5 is 1 over 5, such that if you multiply 5 by 1 over 5, it becomes 1. So 5 in the numerator and that 5 cancels. Therefore, we remain with 1. So that's all for today for the types of numbers. Join us on in our next lesson. Turn on the notification bell so that you stay alerted for the new and next lessons. Thank you. Share.